All right, guys, everybody stay calm. Everybody be cool.
Oh my God! Oh, it happened! I've never seen anything like it! I've never seen anything like it!
With that being said, we are the hottest we have been all season long.
Oh my God!
But be cool. Roll the intro. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Uncle Dan's Best Bets here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel, located inside the beautiful and glorious Connors and Ferris podcast studio. Appreciate you for joining me. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate the support as our Uncle Dan's Best Bet family continues to grow. And again, appreciate, as always, the support from Bob Johnson Auto Group. If you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, needing a new car, I've been saying it before. This is not the first time I've been pushing this on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel or on Uncle Dan's Best Bets. I'm working with Daryl out in Leroy, looking to get a third row vehicle for all the kids. Be sure to check out Bob Johnson Auto Group. They're the best. I work with Daryl, like I've said. Go to Bob Johnson Auto Group. Get ahead of things for the winter that is here. Be sure to let them know that Uncle Dan sent you. All right. I have had some sad weeks. We've had a rough season. That being said, 17-10 the last 2 weeks. We're hot. We're hot, but we've been here before, but never this good. Never this good. Appreciate all the support. Again, 17-10 the last 2 weeks, 8-4 last week, sweeping the Bills, nailing the side, the total, James Cook, Josh Allen, all of that. Seeing the board well. We're seeing it well. So again, 17-10 the last 2 weeks, 8-4 last week, and that still has us at 5 games under 500. My friend Brian, who was at the Buffalo Plus live show out at Riverworks yesterday, said, so you're 7 games over 500 and you're still 5 games under 500 for the season. Yeah, that's how it's been, man. That is how it has been. I've also ran out of the cool cue cards, so we're back to paper. Hey, adversity, persevering. We're like the Bills, really bad in the first half. Maybe we're great in the second half. Maybe that's how this works. All right. So we're closing in 67-72 on the season. And I've got 11 plays. Maybe I was scared of bigger cards earlier in the year. Maybe that's just my forte. And I'm going to add more because for some reason, DraftKings, the betting site that I use, doesn't really have any props for the Bills game yet, for the player props. I still found 11. And I will add probably another handful as we get closer to kickoff on Saturday and Sunday, because we got games on Saturday. I wisely stayed away from the Seahawks and the Rams game. I probably would have taken the Seahawks minus the 1.5. That would have been a tough loss there. So feel like we found money, seeing the board well. We'll just leave it at that. So without any further ado, shout out to all the real people that have been with us all season long. Ian, Basil, Dwayne, my neighbor, he follows along. He's a great guy. So appreciate it as always. Comment in with your favorite picks for the week. Let me know so we can all win together. But I'm happy that I'm finally around this holiday season. I'm being able to give back. It's the season of giving. How about we give some more winners out and keep this going? So we'll start right off on Saturday. I like the Bears minus 1.5 at home versus the Packers. And here's the big reason why. Teams over the last 3 seasons coming off playing in Denver are 6-17 against the spread. Let me say it again. Let me say it slower. All right, I'll sit up. Last 3 seasons, teams coming off playing in Denver, mile high altitude, are 6-17 against the spread, and they're 0-6 this season against the spread. So you had the Packers playing a really tough game in Denver, lose Micah Parsons, and now not only do they have to leave the altitude to go on the road to play Chicago, big divisional game, which we nailed because I said that there would be a letdown after playing the Bears. They also lose Micah Parsons. I like this spot a lot for the Bears. -1.5. You're getting the Packers on a short week, leaving Denver, and maybe some deflation from losing Micah Parsons for the season. Also, they're not that good of a rushing defense. And I think the Bears want to play bully ball. They can do that. They're able to beat up and lean on teams. So I'm also going to take DeAndre Swift over 54.5 rushing yards. He has cleared that in 5 out of his last 6 games. He's getting about 18 carries a game. And he's hit that. He's gone over 60 plus yards in his last 3 games. I think the Bears are going to want to just run the ball down their throats, bear weather, do it to the Packers. So those are the 2 plays I like a lot on Saturday. Bears -1.5, DeAndre Swift over 54.5. The one we missed last week, Kyle Monangai, 2 rushing attempts short. But I digress. We will pivot and we'll take a different over of a Bears running back. Ugly one. Giants. They screwed us last week. Didn't show up against the Commanders. Giants +2.5 at home versus the Vikings. Everybody's giving the Vikings love. Beat the Cowboys. Young team. They lost some guys. Some guys got injured in that Vikings game from Minnesota. They're getting 69% of the bets and 64% of the money. We talked about it last week. The public has been awful this year. Sometimes it's just not thinking and fading the public. 69% of the bets. Teams that are getting over 60% are like 38% this season, and teams getting over 65% of the bets against the spread are like 28% this season. So we're just fading there. Giants aren't good. We learned that last week. But at home, I think the Vikings are a little overinflated. I'll take the Giants ugly. +2.5. Chargers, Cowboys, over 49.5. Just think there's a lot of points. Cowboys defense has come back down to earth. Chargers playing good ball. They can play some wild games too. They've gone up against really good defenses the last 2 weeks in Philly and again against Kansas City. I think they see a much tougher or much easier test in Dallas. In a dome, I expect lots of points in that game. Should be a fun one. How about the Shuckster? Saints -6.5 versus the Jets. I think the Jets quit last week. Brady Cook, not good. Tyler Shuck, I don't know. I think they're feeling good. I think what Kellen Moore is winning games. Like, they're not worried about a first round pick. Like, I think they're just trying to build something. This number like started at 4.5. It's already bet all the way up to 6. I like the Saints -6 versus the Jets. Full disclosure, I've got a lot of favorites here, and I don't love that. I don't love that. I'm just being honest. I had the Bears as a favorite. I have the Saints as a favorite, and I've got 4 more favorites. Don't love that. But I'll also take the Bucks -3 at the Panthers. Everybody's loving the Panthers. Awful loss. That's what they do. They win, they lose, they win, they lose. So they're coming off a loss. So are the Bucks. The Bucks played atrocious on Thursday night. Todd Bowles was swearing. I think the extra rest, Todd Bowles letting into that team. Baker played better last week against the Falcons on that Thursday night game, but I think that you're going to get an angry Bucks team that's pretty much playing for the division. Baker, I think in his career is something like 4 or 5-0, hasn't lost to the Panthers in his career. I know that the Panthers are the fun, trendy. This is a team that bounces back. I think the Bucks get a big bounce back win. Lay it with Tampa -3 at Carolina. This line makes no sense. It may be the sucker play, but I'm going to do it because I have a problem with this team, and you all know that. Broncos -3.5 at home versus the Jags. I thought this line should be like 6. I thought it should be Broncos -6. So the fact that it's a field goal less than what I thought it would be definitely has me worried. The Jags hype is just reaching a fever pitch for me. They looked great against the Jets. And like I said, I think the Jets have quit. That's what we learned in that game. But for all this talk about the Jaguars, 5-game winning streak, all of this stuff, Trevor Lawrence playing so well, look at, like, take a little bit of a deeper dive into like who the Jags are. Like, everybody talks about their great rushing defense, all this stuff. Their last 5 games, they have played the Jets, the Colts with Danny Dimes on a broken leg, and then faced Riley Leonard. They played the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Chargers, who they just seem to own. That's not exactly a murderer's row there of teams that I'm going, wow, the Jags have really proven something to me. Now, I think the Jags are going to win the AFC South, but I'm just not sitting here going, and I like Liam Cohen. Like, this isn't just a bash the Jag segment, but like the Broncos are a massive step up for Jacksonville in comparison to what they have played the last 5 weeks of the Jets, Colts, Titans, Cardinals, Chargers. And they almost lost to the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett completed like 75 passes. Bo Nix is coming off that big game. Broncos are undefeated at home. It's a big game for them to stay one in that one seed. So I'm not saying it's not a big game for the Jags. I just think the Broncos, I don't think this is a Broncos letdown spot. And I know I have a sickness with Denver, but I really like their defense. I think that's a massive step up for Trevor Lawrence. I think he comes back down to earth. And I just don't think the Jags are as good as what we may think they are. So I'll take the Broncos minus the 3.5. Falcons, Cardinals over 48.5. This seems like a fun one. Falcons seem to find some things, although they committed like 19 penalties, still found a way to win a game against the Bucs team, which is struggling. Kirk Cousins seems to be playing well. It's indoors, so I think Kirk can put up some points. And Arizona's defense just has been atrocious the last 5 weeks. 40, 45, 20, 27, 41 points. I expect a lot of points. Atlanta, Arizona, take the over. I've been pretty good with Mike Tomlin spots this year. Win-loss, we've kind of been on it. Nailed them going after they got embarrassed by the Bills. I had them crushed it. I knew they would go to Baltimore and win. Now they get another big win on Monday night. All is well. Aaron Rodgers looks great. Now they go to Detroit to play in Detroit. And Lions are coming off a loss. They are 24-0 and have covered 22 of those games, I believe, against the spread after a loss. Lions playing for their lives. This just seems like a Steelers. Everybody's, Steelers back. Tomlin doesn't have to be fired. This is a spot where I think the Lions absolutely blow the doors off the Steelers. I don't know about Herbig. I don't know about TJ Watt. All that stuff. Lions love this play. Lay the touchdown. Lions at home. Desperate team. I'm just still not sold on the Steelers. 2 more plays. Ravens -3 at home versus the Patriots. This is a night game in Baltimore, and the Ravens are wearing partially all black uniforms. They're wearing their black jerseys. You just don't beat Baltimore. They're wearing purple pants, but black jerseys at home, primetime game. Just don't think. Also, the Patriots acting like their loss to the Bills was a good thing. I think they got exposed. I think they got exposed that they can give up. They can get beat on the ground. They went too far with the. They went too far with the coping of, this loss is good. I think they had to step up in competition. You know, the old saying, Cat Williams said that a Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up next to it. That's what we saw with Drake May. It looks like an MVP until a real MVP showed up. I think they came back down to earth. They didn't just lose that game. They blew a 21-point lead. That's tough to take. Ravens playing desperate. And Lamar Jackson is 15-0 in weeks 15, 16, 17, and 18 in his career. Just wins games late in the year. That's all he does. So I like the Ravens a lot to hand the Patriots their second straight loss. And finally, right now it's at 87.5. I'm taping this Friday afternoon. James Cook over 87.5 rushing yards. Cleveland has a great defense. Myles Garrett, all these things. It's supposed to be windy in Cleveland. Doesn't seem to be too much other weather. The Bills don't have wide receivers that they throw to. It's the tight ends and it's James Cook. And yes, this Browns defense is very good. Their defensive line is very good. They just seem like a defense that has started to run out of gas. They have been carrying a lackluster, pathetic offense for weeks this whole season. And they just seem like they're like, yeah, we want Myles to get the sack record, but after that, we're kind of gassed. They gave up, for as good as they are, they're a middle-of-the-road defense stopping the run. And 2 weeks ago, they gave up 161 rushing yards to Tony Pollard and the Titans' bad offensive line. They also gave up 142 rushing yards last week to the Bears. Physical game. I think they're worn down again. I think they're just in quit mode. They're 1-2-3 Cabo. Let's get Myles his sacks. James Cook has cleared that in 3 out of his last 4 games. He's rushed for 100 yards. The only game he didn't go for 100, he rushed for 80. I think the Bills' game plan will be to run the ball, run it at Myles Garrett, that kind of thing, so he doesn't crush Josh like Houston did to him. So there's the 11 pack, and I'll probably add more, so make sure to follow me on social media. Bears minus 1.5, DeAndre Swift over 54.5 rushing yards, Giants plus 2.5, Chargers Cowboys over 49.5, Saints minus 6, Bucks minus 3, Broncos minus 3.5, Falcons Cardinals over 48.5, Lions minus 7, Ravens minus 3, James Cook over 87.5 rushing yards. I know some people commented in, I bet every single play. I can show you the bet receipts and the slips of every single game that I give you here on this channel. I am financially invested, as well as Bob Johnson Auto Group sponsoring all these things. We are true as can be here, and I just really appreciate all the support. Shout out to Brian yesterday. He won cornhole boards. Brian, let me know if we win our game that we put, maybe we're in a whole new studio and I'm wearing a big diamond chain if I win 20 grand. So appreciate the support. Very much appreciated. We're at 42,000 subscribers. We want to get to 50 by the end of the year. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Be sure to mention in below your favorite plays for the week. Really appreciate it all, and make sure to follow me because I'm sure there'll be more plays as Bills player props come available. 17-10 last 2 weeks. Not the hottest gambler in the world, but definitely not the worst. Appreciate the support. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop your comments in below. We'll catch you next time here. Best of luck to all your plays this weekend. We'll see you next time here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Let's beat the odds together as I break down the NFL betting lines, who will cover, and who is poised for an upset.
Uncle Dan's Best Bets on Buffalo Plus. New each Saturday on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Sponsored by the Bob Johnson Auto Group.